I really do feel like it's necessary for every single man to go through that lonely phase. And I say this because, like, you can either treat it one of two ways, right? You can either look at loneliness as like this sad thing, right? Or you can treat it as a way of, God finally saying to you, hey, you've been praying for this, you've been asking for this. Now it's time to turn you into the man you need to be in order to receive these blessings. And a lot of the times that requires that lonely phase, because you're not relying on anybody else but God and yourself, to change your ways, to break those old habits, to get out of that environment, to finally focus and have 100% focus on what you're trying to achieve and who you really want to become, right? Because a lot of the times when we're distracted by our friends, by, other factors in life, it becomes a lot harder to focus on that one thing that we've always been trying to do or accomplish. So by having that lonely phase, a lot of people see it as this bad thing, but you have to look at it as a good thing, because God is finally allowing you to have 100% focus. And, sometimes in getting there, you have to abandon old friends, or God will literally put you in situations where you're forced to only rely on him. And again, sometimes that requires, him removing current people out of your life, whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's people you've grown up with all your life. But again, like, if you're constantly praying and wanting this thing out of life, it's required in order for you to get there. You have to go through that lonely phase to figure out who you are, what you truly want to accomplish, and to have 1,000% focus on what you need to do and who you need to become. Like, for example, a lot of the times when we enter a lonely phase, that's usually right after a breakup for guys, especially because most guys, when they first get into that real relationship, they end up ditching their guy friends or not hanging out with them anymore. So they just separate in general. And then, you go through this breakup right after, and then you're stuck in this lonely phase. But again, if you're constantly praying for something, God is making you go through that on purpose. And he made the breakup happen on purpose in order for you to fully lock in, because that's what you've been asking for. And sometimes he's going to put you in situations like that where, you have to rely on him. And that's a good thing, because now you actually have the time and you actually have the full focus to figure out who you really are and, become the man you've always needed to become in order to receive these blessings. And it just overall literally forces you to focus on your goals, because you have nothing else to do. You have no one else to talk to, no one else to rely on for your happiness but you and God. So if you are going through that phase right now, just know God is literally giving you what you asked for. And it can go one of two ways. You can either use that time, that extra time you have now, that full focus you have now, which is one of the biggest blessings that God will ever do for you, to focus on what the fuck you want to do, who you want to become, work on whatever you need to do. Or you can treat it as something negative. You can be depressed and sad about it because you don't have friends and you're lonely. And then you're going to go back to your old habits, your old friends, because you can't stand being alone. And then God is just going to continually, repeatedly put you through that cycle in order for you to fully learn. Like, if you never learn from your mistakes, God will on purpose keep putting you through these same things. So at the end of the day, don't look at being alone as something negative, because I promise it's probably one of the best things that can ever happen to you, because again, you have full focus now and you have full time for what you want to do and what you want to accomplish. So if you're going through that phase right now, again, just realize that God is blessing you, and to use your time wisely. Time is our biggest asset. You could die tomorrow. So you sitting here thinking that you have all this time to accomplish your goals and get to where you want to be, it's selfish, because again, you could die tomorrow. And like, bro, if you need an example, take me for example, bro. Like, I've been telling God I've been wanting to do content and coaching and just be able to help people full time, and he's put me in positions in the past where he has allowed me to do so, but I didn't take advantage of it. I kept going back to my old habits. I kept going back to my old ways, my old friends, just because I didn't like the feeling of being alone. But now that I have went through those stages and he's turned me into the man who I am today because of going through things and learning from it, now I'm in the position where he's blessed me again to do content full time. And now I'm actually taking advantage of it, because I realize being alone isn't a bad thing. I'm using all my time I can to post content multiple times per day. I'm going to places, sitting at coffee shops, learning about coaching. Like, you have to realize that being alone is not a bad thing, and God is blessing you in disguise to put your full focus towards what you want to do. That's it.